Hi, Jeff.
Good morning. I believe it's just going to be us three
Morning.
today because I think Myron is out. I don't really have anything to demo. I don't think anything I've worked on the last week is anything that's demo-able. So I'm not really sure what precisely we should discuss today.
How about we discuss what the goals were for this meeting and what the main blockers are.
Okay, so last week we set the goals to work on monitoring Remetrics. I had a bunch of merge requests ready to go prior to the holiday season. Andrew, Jarv, and I think Ben reviewed at least one of them. Those are all put into place. So if there's anything missing out of metrics and our dashboards today, that just means we missed something. But hopefully everything metric-wise is in a solid state. The auto deploy process. This is an epic where we are trying to do a few things. One is creating the auto deploy branches for Helm and CNG, followed by upgrading, just like we do with Omnibus, upgrading the version of our components inside of the minimally the CNG repo, and then tagging that repo. That way the build starts. I got the auto deploy branches merged. I need to work on updating the components and then performing a tag for minimally the CNG repo. This epic does go into the Helm stuff. I just haven't picked that work up yet because I'm doing things in this specific order. It's just slow going because I'm just not very strong in Ruby compared to other people on this team. So, but it is a work in progress. The mailer queue. We discussed that, but I don't think we actually really wanted to do it yet. Or maybe we just didn't pick up that work. We discussed it because it was an easy queue that we could potentially do instead of sidekiq exporter, but we've invested so much time in the exporter queue. I don't think we'll get to this anytime shortly. So I did not work on this at all. For some reason, under Jarv's name is the desire to figure out where queues or how queues work. Is that issue?
Yeah, so this is
learn how queues work.
This project cleanup worker. I think what's happening, from what I can tell, is that there are cases where we leave temp files on disk. So in this case, the cleanup worker is necessary. I haven't dug into the code yet, but I have a feeling that what happens is that we start the export, something blows up, and then files are left around, which is unfortunate because they're supposed to be just like temp files. We should be cleaning them up. So there may be some issues, or there may be some, there might be a bug there. So
it sounds like we need to create an issue to address this. I did some testing, and if the job is successful, it cleans itself up. If anything, the only reason why we see more disk space used is because it created a directory structure, and the directory structure did not get cleaned up, but the files inside of those did.
Yeah.
So this is relatively unfortunate to learn about.
But
Uh,
the cleanup worker doesn't delete directories. I think it only deletes files.
correct.
So
Is it possible that we use it just in case of something goes wrong and the job crashes and then it leaves files around? So as a safe mechanism, we just delete everything because nothing should be there.
yeah, I think that's what we should do. So maybe we should trap errors and clean up. Um, I need to see in the code how exactly we're creating the temp file and what it looks like before. But after I do that, I'll open up an issue.
Okay.
And create staging configuration in Kubernetes. I didn't assign this to myself until I only assigned this to myself this morning. So this is moving forward. I have an MR to prep soon, and right now I was just talking to Scarbeck. How do we create auto deploy CNG images for testing? And the way I'm going to do it right now is I'm just going to create an auto deploy branch manually. I'm going to bump the versions. I'm going to tag it. I'm going to tag it with the same tag we use for Omnibus and GitLab, or just Omnibus, and then hopefully we'll just use that and until we have it automated as part of auto deploy. Yeah. Per our last conversation, Scarbeck, I guess we should open up an issue for this. Scarbeck noticed that when he tagged CNG with dots, like 12.7, blah, 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 it was converted to 12-7 for the registry tag. Where, as far as I can tell, dots are supported. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Like, maybe we're just being overly aggressive in CNG about converting characters, and we're like globbing lots of them, including dots. I think it would be nice if our registry tag matched exactly, or at least very close to the tag, because we have like different versions of, we already have, this would make the third version of this tag, which kind of sucks because we lose the plus as well.
Maybe we're just in the CI when we publish the image, we're just using the commit slug instead of the ref, and because we have these things for creating domain names out of it. And I think in that case, we remove dot, we replace with dashes because of the DNS namespacing. So probably we are using just the wrong variables or things like that.
I see. Okay, I'll anyway, I'll open up an issue. Scarbeck, you can assign that to me for that. Great. So for next week, Scarbeck, what are you feeling right now as far as what we can accomplish?
Whether I'll complete or not is a different story, but I want to continue working on trying to enable the auto deploy process minimally for the CNG stuff. So continuing work on Epic 125.
Okay.
I think it would be good to see staging working with the project export and see what issues we run into with the manual work that you do with updating component versions and getting a deploy out there from CNG. I think those are the two things I would love to see.
Should we link Epic 125 to Epic 89, which is the parent Epic, I think, for the sidekiq migration?
I could do that if it's not done already. I thought it was.
Yeah, I'll do it right now. I'm in it.
Okay.
Cool.
This is a major blocker to keeping us from going to production, I feel. So,
yeah.
Oh, I guess something I didn't mention in here. I started the readiness review and I created a few issues, but like that's halfway done at this point. So
Okay.
I'll work on that throughout the week as I get tired of writing Ruby.
Sure. For the investigating NFS mounts, I think it would be nice. I think we have a grab bag of issues in the GitLab tracker for things related to NFS, like upload file locking, CI traces, and then of course this issue where we have the cron cleanup. I'm going to try to get those under or at least make sure they're more visible and easy to query, so we can keep track of them. Note that currently temp is unmounted across the fleet, but that's all. We can't unmount cache. It sounds like we can't unmount uploads. We definitely can't unmount pages. Artifacts and LFS objects, I have no known issues with that, but I'm also kind of scared to do anything right now. So I don't know if it's a good idea to move forward and unmount artifacts and LFS objects.
Maybe ask the question, see if we can't move forward with it.
I don't know. I mean, that's the approach I've been taking. And when I ask the question, everyone says, "Oh yeah, sure, there's no problems." Oh wait, and then and then we run into issues. So I don't know.
Well, luckily we don't care about those for the project export queue, so we could push that further down the line.
That's true.
I think the only concern we have at this point is figuring out why jobs that potentially fail are leaving stuff behind.
Yeah.
I don't know how to create a failure scenario with an export. I don't know how to recreate that kind of situation.
I think you have to change the code. You have to change the code and raise an error or something like that.
It's hard to change code inside of a Kubernetes pod and restart the service to use that new code to force the failure.
I know. But you can do it. You can just pull the original image or edit commit a new image and change your pod to run because it's compiled. So if you need to do it, you can do it.
Jarv, did you say you were going to create the GitLab issue to address that, or should I?
I'm sorry, the GitLab issue to do what?
Investigate files being left behind for the project export queue.
I can create it.
Okay. All right. Is there anything we should try to demo?
What is the current state of preprod? Is it running?
It works.
Right, but it is currently running this queue in Kubernetes? Okay.
Yep. We've tested that in previous videos.
And you removed the queue from the sidekiq VM?
Yeah, the best effort node. I guess that's the only sidekiq node, but yeah, we did.
Yeah. Wait a minute, isn't sidekiq on preprod just like negate equals true and that doesn't just pick up everything?
Yeah,
so how did
you reviewed it? There was, I think we said, let me look at the chef role. Because I know it's, every time we've run an export, I know it's running on the correct thing.
Pre-base, sidekiq, effort.
Q groups project exporting negate is set to true.
I see. Yeah, that will work. Right, I remember this now. Okay.
I guess, Alessio, if you want to know what we're looking at, here's a link to it. That way you're not so far in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Sounds like this is going to be a short meeting today, so
yeah.
Hopefully we'll have some really fun stuff to show for next week.
Yeah.
Any questions? Cool. Well then, have a lovely weekend.
See you.
You too. Bye.